So in this video I'm going to talk about why you are desperately seeking external validation or desperately seeking approval from others, right? So there's internal validation, which is when you honor your own strengths, you honor your own attributes, you acknowledge your own achievements, and you acknowledge your own decisions, emotions, and your experience, right? And external validation would be when other people acknowledge your strengths, your emotions, and your decisions, and your emotions or whatever. So in this video, I'm going to really focus on the external validation that you might be seeking desperately and why you're seeking it and so on, right? So it's normal to rely on friends, to rely on family, to rely on co-workers, your boss, or whoever for support and for encouragement, so for example, when you finally got the job you wanted, you might tell your family members, friends, or your significant other or whatever, or you get the promotion you're waiting for, or you get engaged, or you just can't wait to tell the closest people to you to help celebrate with you and to validate you, right? And that is normal. It's normal to rely on feedback and encouragement from others around us through our lives, Yes, it's normal to look for recognition and to look for some reassurance here and there in your life, to feel that you belong, to feel that you matter, right? But sometimes people seek way too much external validation. Like some people are addicted to approval, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video, especially emotional validation, right? Emotional validation is like when someone understands and show that they accept your feelings. They show that they understand and they accept your emotions. And you as a person who is seeking validation, you would feel like your experience matter, like you are heard, like you are seen, that they understand you and you accept it. And without this, yes, people could feel like their thoughts and their emotions and what they feel and what they decide and their experience, like it's not heard or it's not understood. If they don't tell someone, they could feel isolated, you could feel unsupported, or like if the experience didn't happen until you tell someone, right? So it's like you basically looking for someone to accept you, accept your emotions, your thoughts, your decisions. And this kind of show that when it's desperate, when you keep looking for external validation and approval, it shows that you don't accept yourself, right? And the more you rely on external validation throughout your life, this could lead to you feeling disconnected from yourself and just feeling unfulfilled and unhappy throughout your life. So when you solely depend on approval from others, it could bring you down. You bringing yourself down, and it could kind of limit your potential. Like you would not believe in yourself that much. You would not really know your potential because you're always seeking outside validation. You always need to ask somebody if you do well, or you always need to hear a compliment, or you need to always know that you're doing good. Like this could make you feel down, and it could limit you could not know your potential. You could not develop your talents because you feel like maybe you're always checking to see if you're good enough, right? Always turning to others to make you feel good. It's really unhelpful and it's unhealthy, and that is what I'm talking about in this video. So you might be wondering, am I seeking too much external validation? If you click on this, you might be seeking too much external validation. You might be an approval seeker, right? And you don't know, or you didn't acknowledge this, or you try not to acknowledge this, or whatever. So there's some signs to know, and one is that you exaggerate your stories. You try to spruce up and make your stories more exciting or more dramatic than it really is. And you're actually mainly looking for attention and looking for sympathy, right? Another sign that you're seeking too much external validation is that you fish around for compliments. You know, you pointing out all your achievements and you're trying to get the person to say, yeah, good job, you did well, you are doing okay, you are good or whatever. You fish for compliments. You be controversial just to provoke reaction. You know, you try to make people go against each other to create reaction. You gossip for attention. You might be posting online, which is very popular today. Posting online just to get likes, just to get followers, just to get comments, just to get people to follow you, like you, subscribe to you. And like most women, they sexualize themselves on social media just to get likes, just to get comments, right? Another sign that you seek too much validation is that you justify everything you do, or you overshare and you give a lot of explanation for what you did and for what you said. You always have an explanation because you did something and what you said. And it's a long explanation and you're always trying to justify yourself and show that you're the good person and show that you are the better person, and it's like you exaggerate, right? The next sign is that you expect positive reinforcement for your actions. You always want to hear that people are on your side, that people agree with you, that they agree with your opinion, they're on your side. You always want to hear that. Another sign you're seeking too much validation is that you could be jumping from relationship to relationship. And I had to include this because most of my videos is about relationships. You jump from relationship to relationship without actually taking time to heal because you don't want to like be alone, or you like when you meet someone new or someone different to jump to someone new without healing, because they might not really know who you really are, they might not know your weaknesses, they might, you know, when you just meet somebody for the first time, most of the time you just see the good things in them. That is what you crave and that is what you like, and that is why you jump from one relationship to another without healing, right? Another sign is that you have difficulty making decisions without asking someone else, without asking somebody else's opinion, without asking somebody else's input, without asking somebody else, what would you do? What do you think? What do you think I should choose? How should I make the decision? What should I do? You always need somebody else's input. You can't make a decision for yourself, right? Another sign you seek too much validation, too much external validation or approval, is that you always say yes to tasks. And some of them you want to say no, but to maintain approval from others and to get validation and to feel like you fit in and to feel accepted, you say yes to almost everything, right? That's another sign. Another sign you're seeking too much external validation is that you have the inability to disagree, right? Or to challenge others. You fear judgment and you feel like they would exclude you, or maybe it's romantic, they would abandon you or something like that. You don't want to stand up for yourself, you don't want to say what you really think, so you just like agreeable. That could come into like people pleasing or whatever. Another sign you're seeking too much external validation is that you compare yourself to others all the time, and you feel like you lack or you're not good enough with when people don't acknowledge your strengths, right? You always compare yourself to others. You're always thinking that other people could be better than you, right? Another sign is that you become over emotional and distressed when you're not the center of attention. When everybody is not focused on you, when you're not the center of attention, you come stressed, you feel like stressed out and uneasy when you're not the center of attention. Next thing is that you punish yourself when you're not chosen, when they don't choose you, when they don't pick you, when you're not acknowledged by your friends, by in school or at work or whatever. You could punish yourself. Next is being extremely loud and obnoxious in public places, like just calling attention to yourself, right? That is seeking external validation. That is overly seeking external validation. And why we do this, there are reasons why you seek too much external validation. And one of the first reasons and one of the main reasons I see is that people you have low self-esteem. That is one of the main reasons. And you have low self-worth, which results from childhood abuse, mainly neglect, emotional neglect, trauma, like your parents had an insecure attachment style and now you have an insecure attachment style. You just probably had some negative experiences with your parents. Basically emotional neglect, right? Your parents didn't tell you good job, they didn't recognize your talents, they didn't recognize your capabilities, they didn't encourage you. Your parents could have been dismissive, they avoid dealing with your emotions, your feelings, especially when you are hurt or it's a difficult time for you, or you're stressed or you have problems and it's a difficult situation. They avoid you. Your parents might not have congratulated you or say well done or say you're doing well or anything like that. So basically, you are deprived from attention and praise when you are growing up. And you could also felt invisible when you were young, ignored as a child. And yes, parents are busy. They have a lot of responsibilities. They have a lot of obligations, especially with their career. And they might ignore you and neglect you, not intentionally, just because they're busy, but this is what happens to you when you get neglected, when you feel invisible, and when they don't tell you good job, congratulations, you're doing well. When you don't hear that and you don't get attention and praise, you start to seek external validation a lot when you become an adult, right? I don't have this problem. Yes, my parents were very busy. My father was very busy, but I had coaches. I played sports, I had coaches, I had mentors. When I was growing up, all of them were men and they always tell me good job. They always tell me my capabilities. They always encourage me for the future. They always tell me good things. So seeking external validation from others for me is not a problem, right? So that's why I always say, like, if you realize your parents might not be there for you, it's always a good thing to have like a family friend or like a coach or a teacher or uncle or some other person who could encourage you and tell you good things and tell you good job and help you to see your talents and your capabilities and give you encouragement growing up. Because when you become an adult, you're gonna seek external validation too much, right? And how to stop relying on external validation? Well, first thing you should do is know yourself. Quite often we look for external validation because you're not sure if you're good enough. You need to know your talents, you need to know your capabilities, you need to know your strengths, right? You need to tell yourself when you're doing well. When you're doing well at work, when you're doing well at home, in a relationship or whatever, right? Work on the relationship with yourself. Validate yourself. You need to know when you did a good job. You need to know when your work is excellent for yourself first, right? And knowing yourself, knowing your capabilities, your strengths, you would know. You wouldn't have to wait for somebody else to tell you good job or to compliment you. You already know your strengths. You could look at your work and already know, my work is good, my work is pretty excellent. And you don't need to hear from someone else. You need to fish for compliments and give long explanations and feel resentment when you don't hear good job or whatever, right? The next thing you need to do to stop seeking so much external validation desperately is to just look at your progress. Pause in some time and just reflect on your achievements in the past. It's good for your well-being to do that. We most of the time we always focus on the future and what we're lacking in life, or what we're lacking while we're doing our job, or we're in school, or whatever. We always looking for where we slip up, or what we're lacking, or we always focus on the future, right? But when we stop and take note of our small achievements, and we realize like we're actually doing better than we think, right? We look too far ahead in life and not reflect on what we are achieving right now, or what we achieved in the past, or how far we have come, or how much we have learned so far. We need to notice like how much you have grown and how much you have developed over time, right? Most people are too busy, trying to finish this project and looking at the future project and all of that, and you're not seeing how much you have progressed, and you're not seeing how much you have learned and how much you have developed. And maybe you're in school or at work, or a teacher or your boss may not get the time to tell you this. They might not remember to encourage you, or to show you or explain to you that you have progressed, you have developed, and you have learned a lot. So you need to look at your own progress for yourself, right? So the next thing you should do is to accept your feelings without judgment. Negative feelings, negative emotions, they are normal. And when they come up, we don't need to just doubt ourselves, right? So when we begin to accept our feelings, and we understand like how they come about, and that we're not perfect, and that like maybe you have a bad moment, maybe you slip up in a project, or in your job, or whatever, or in your relationship, you need to know that that is normal and it does not define you. And you don't have to rely on others to feel secure and to feel safe, right? The another thing you should do is to have values, and use your values as a guide to know if you're doing the right thing, rather than looking for external validation, or looking externally for someone to approve you or what you have done. You know your values, right? Your actions, your decisions, and your behaviors should be in line with your core values. Values like you value integrity, you value loyalty. Maybe you're in a relationship, you are loyal, you know you are doing the right thing. Maybe your partner cheats, or maybe your friends normally cheat, and they are saying that you should cheat back or whatever. But you value loyalty, and you don't cheat. You value compassion. You value honesty. You know that you're going to be honest all the time. You could value kindness, empathy. You value trustworthiness. So you are trustworthy, and you would expect other people to show trustworthiness. You value appreciation, right? If you value appreciation, you know when to tell someone thank you, or you know when to show thanks, or you know when to express appreciation, right? You don't hold it back. You value that, and people could express appreciation to you. You value attentiveness. You value generosity. There's many values. You value courage, right? You know you should do the right thing. You know what is the right thing to do. Others might not be doing it, but you have courage and you do the right thing. You value patience. You could value gratitude. All of these things. You could value forgiveness. You might say, you know what, I need to work with this person. I'm going to put this behind me. I'm going to forget about the anger and resentment I have against them, forgive them, and move on. You know when you want to forgive. You know when you should stand up for yourself. You know when you should back off. You could value growth. You value listening. You value respect. So when you have all of these values, you have them within yourself, you would know what decision you're going to make, because you know your values. You know what to do because you are true to your values. You stick with your values, right? Whatever you do should feel authentic. It should feel true to what you believe and what you value, right? Then you would know you're doing the right thing, right? So the next thing you need to do to stop seeking so much external validation is look at your strengths. We all have like natural strengths or natural talent, right? So it's good to take time to discover or to acknowledge these strengths, right? Note them down and remind yourself often of your strengths, right? Sometimes our mind is going non-stop, and we always focus on what we need to get done and what we need to improve and what we lack and what our weaknesses and all of that. And we just forget our values, we forget our strengths, we forget what our strengths are. So you need to take some time to remind yourself what your strengths, and this could help you to feel confident and so on. You just need to know your strengths. You know you're good at anything, whatever. You know what you're good at. When it's your time to perform and you know you are good at something, you can look at your work and know it's good work, it's excellent work, it was a good job. You don't need to wait to hear good job. You don't need to wait to get compliments. You don't need to get recognized in front of everyone else. You already know your strengths. You already know good job, right? Next thing is be more self-aware, right? We always look outside for validation because we think we're not good enough. We don't feel safe within ourselves. So we ask a lot of questions. We ask for help. We ask for help to make this decision and whatever. And it's good to just know who you are. The more you understand who you are authentically, the better it will be to move forward in your path, not needing others to tell you like what you should do. You're doing what you should do, what you should not do. You already know because you are aware of yourself, right? So those are some ways you can practice or try to not seek so much external validation, right? So, for example, I have this YouTube channel. As you can see, I don't have a lot of subscribers. I don't have comments on below my video. I hardly have likes. But when I do a good video, I know when I do a good video. I already tell myself, good job, that was a good video. That was some good research. You explained this topic perfectly. I already tell myself, good job, good video, you did well. If you see one like below my video, it's me, I like my own video. The only reason why I show up here over and over again is from myself, saying good job, good video, and come back. If I depend on others to comment below my video, to like my video, to subscribe, I would not come here. I would not show up here. I tell myself, good video. There are videos that are not good, like this one. I'm not satisfied with this one. I really think it could be better. But I know I would get better with time. And I know I've been on here for just 1 year. I don't expect to be the best YouTuber. I could look back, I know that I've developed, I have learned, I'm becoming better. I know my next video would be better than this, could be better than this, right? I know that not every time I come on here I'm going to be in a good mood to do a video. But I still do it because I know if I wait until I'm in a good mood and feel like I want to do a video, I will never make a video, right? That's what I know. I know my strengths. I focus on them. I know my goals. I know my values. I focus on them. Right? If I do a project or whatever I do and I know I do it well, I already tell myself, good job. This is good work. This was excellent. You did a good job. So if somebody tell me, oh, this was good work, good job, I'm like, thank you, thank you. But in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I know. And that's still that done. I already tell myself, good job. I know I do well. On to the next thing. right? You need to know how to validate yourself. Your boss might be too busy. Maybe in school, your teacher might be too busy, have too much things on their mind. Your parents might have too much responsibilities, obligations, their work to tell you, good job, you're doing well. You have to know your strengths. You have to know when you do a good job. You have to know when your work is excellent. You have to know your strengths. You have to know how far you have come, how much you have developed, how much you have learned, your growth for yourself, right? And yeah, it's good to have other people, good mentors or whatever, coaches or whatever. I had coaches and mentors. They were very, very good, and that is why I don't have this problem. Because when I was growing up and in sports and young, my coach always take time to talk to us, to encourage us, to help with our self-esteem or self-confidence. So I don't have this problem. I had great mentors who taught me how to be a coach. Yeah. So I don't seek external validation. I know when my work is good. I already tell myself, good job. I know my strengths. I know when I do well. Even if somebody might make a comment or feedback, and I might not agree with it because I know my strengths. And you might not know when to stand up for yourself, you might not know, you have values. You have values, okay, respect. Somebody might disrespect you. You might need to know when to stand up for yourself and when to forgive and move on. And that will come with practice and with time. So that's the end of this video. I hope this video helps, and see you in the next one.